Hi guys, happy Monday. All right, today is I didn't change my dates. Today is the 1st. Change the rest later. So today was hat day. We had our sink and float lab. And let me go over the stuff for the week just so you'll have that. So tomorrow we have another lab. The materials are down below. I'll go over that in a second. Wednesday, you can wear your favorite college gear. Thursday, wear a shirt with positive words. We have a reading CFA, and our tutorials this week are going to be on Thursday. Friday, wear your favorite jersey or workout gear. And then our Fun Friday activity is going to be a rock painting. So I sent out some information about this. Ms. Oriwell is going to start a kindness garden, and it's going to have painted rocks in it. So we're going to do that for activity Friday. So all the kids that are in the building are going to paint theirs Friday. So I'm going to give us some time on Friday as well. But you've got to pick them up. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, they will be available to pick up at the front. And you just grab one rock, one per virtual student. And you'll have to get your own paint supplies, and then we'll have time during class to paint them on Friday. So we got a lot of things going on right before spring break. So let's go ahead and get started with today. You can click this and watch the. This is I guess it's like a short little clip that goes with a book that we'll read later in the week. So it's kind of inspired by the book, and you can click and watch that. Then today in math, we our lesson was on how we measure angles. So where's my seesaws? Let me go here. Go down to math, week 26 math, whole group, and independent work. Oops. Let me open up my graph here. All right, so this week we're going to draw and measure angles. So let me drag this over and erase so I can kind of show you what we did here. All right, so we started off with this circle, and here, let me do it the fast way. And on the circle, you notice it's been broken into 4 sections, and we've got 4 different right angles within this. And so we looked at what it looks like when we take one of our protractors and put it right. So notice again where that vertex goes, we're going to line it right up at the origin, and we want it to, that black line on the side where the baseline is, we want this to completely cover up the 0, and so that's all lined up correctly. And then you can see that vertical line here on 90. And so we talked about how when we do this, we made some observations. So some students said, hey, that looks, like half of a circle, or that's 2 right angles. And so all that was correct. And then we took another one and we did the same thing. So we lined it up perfectly here. So drag that over and drop that. And now you've got two protractors on here to make that complete circle. So when you've got your one protractor, you've got half of that circle. So when you add the second one, now you've got a complete full circle. So then we talked about how this is broken up. So all of this part right here in yellow, all of this is that 90-degree angle. And if you notice, you've got 2 on top. So this is 90 degrees. You've got another 90 degrees here. You've got another 90 degrees here. So you've got a total of 4 right angles. And when we think about this as a fraction, one right angle of a circle, that would be 1/4. 2 of them would be 2/4 or 1/2, and then 3/4, and then 4/4 or 1 whole. Now I've got the whole circle shaded in. So you can break these parts off into fractions, and think about it that way. We've got a couple other things here. So if you notice, we've got right here at 180. 180 goes all the way across and splits this in half. So there's that straight line, or it could be going straight down vertically. And some people noticed that this protractor had some dotted lines, and that dotted line goes like that, it goes like this, and then it's also on the bottom as well, and that marks the 45-degree angle, and 45 is half of 90. So if you look at this portion here, that's half of the 90. Here's the other part, 45 and 45. When you add those together, you get 90. So there's some different observations that we were making on this page. Then we went to page 3, and on page 3, I want you to keep referencing back to this because this shows us kind of the steps to do to measure angles. So let me start over on this page. Let me zoom in a bit. So it says measuring angles. You can use a protractor to help you find the measurement of any angle. So if you look at this, you're going to line it up like we practiced, and you want this center point right here, okay, where that vertex is. This is called the origin, and you want it to line up, and then you want your baseline right here, this base line, you want that to be at 0 right there. And notice you can't even see it because it's right over top, which is exactly how you want it. And then when you're starting at 0, there's I want you to put 0 degrees, and I want you to draw a little rainbow till the stopping point. And I also want you to mark where 90 degrees is. So you're going to mark where 90 is, and then you're going to think about it. Okay, if I'm starting here at 0 and I go all the way and I stop there, have I made it to 90 yet? The answer is no. So I know that this type of angle is acute because it's less than 90 because we haven't even made it to 90 yet. So it's a number that's going to be smaller than 90 degrees. If the angle went past, like let's say it was somewhere over here, then that would be obtuse. If it was right on 90, then it would be a right angle. So this one is acute. So I know acute is anywhere it's going to be greater than 1, greater than 0 and less than 90. So anywhere from 1 to 89 degrees. And so when I do this, I'm going to look at where this is touching, and I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And it's about halfway in between right there. So halfway between 50 and 60 would be that 55 degrees. So the steps down here on the bottom just kind of take you through what I did. And then it says, be careful. Okay, highlight this part. Be careful. If you do not measure correctly, you might think that this angle has a measurement of 125. You always have to start at the 0 and start counting till you stop. Do not just go look at these two numbers and say, oh, I know what that is. That's 125. Well, it's not 125 because 125 can't be an acute number or acute angle measurement. So you want to be very, very careful that you don't just go and glance at it, that you really do the whole full step. Think about, okay, this is an acute angle. I know that it starts at 0. I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't get to 60. I stop in between 55. Okay, so be careful because, the big mistake that people make is that right there. They just look, they find that number, they get excited. Oh, I know that. And then they choose the wrong one. So they choose a really big number for a really small angle. All right, go to page 4. So page 4, we added in the line to extend it so we could see. And then again, we did those same things where we started at the 0. So here this time, our 0 is starting here. And we go all the way around to where we stop. Then we think about, okay, here's 90. If I go past 90, I know that I'm an obtuse angle. Obtuse is anywhere greater than 90 and less than 180. So anywhere within this range. So when we look at these numbers right here, I'm at 150 and I go a little bit further. I'm not quite at 160 yet. So when we counted, we got 154, which meets this range, so we know that that was correct. So it's just a little way you can self-check yourself and make sure you're doing it right. Here's another one. Again, we started at 0. We found 90. We haven't touched 90 yet. We know that this is an acute angle, so it cannot be 150. We look at where it's touching. It's touching right at the 30, so this is 30 degrees. All right, for independent work, you have a few jobs. Job number 1 is to click on this link. The link is at the top here. The photo down here just shows you what I want you to click on. So I want you to click the link. I want you to click angle measurement, go to measuring with protractors, and you can watch this, and then you go to the second page and it has some practice. And then once you're done with that, it doesn't send it to me, it's just for practice, so just X out of that. Second job is I want you to go to Google Classroom. I want you to go to the assignment called Measuring Angles. We're doing page 1 only. So Google Classroom, go to your classwork, go to week 26, Monday Math Measuring Angles. Open this up. If you look at page 1, I did a couple examples. So here you're finding the measurement angle. So again, you're looking, here's where I'm starting. I go all the way around. I pass 90. I know I'm obtuse. I keep going, I keep going, I keep going, and really zoom in. So here's 150. It's right on that 160 mark. Same thing with this one. You're starting over here on its opening to the left, so you're going to use that outer scale. Starting at 0, go, 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 40, 50. I don't make it to 60. I definitely don't make it to 90, so I know I'm acute. So I'm not going to be the 125. I'm going to be on this outer scale, 55 degrees. Okay, so you just click on the question mark, double click 2 times, click, click, and you can type in your number. All right, so page 2 is the drawing. We'll do that later. So just do page 1 and then just X out of that. And then job number 3 is on page 7. So you're going to pop back over here. So just leave the tabs open. And you're going to continue building the protractor. So you're going to start at 0. You're going to go all the way around and do your outer scale. And then you're going to start at 0. And you're going to go all the way around to 180 and do your inner scale. I've already started and marked a few for you. So keep going. You just click on the numbers and drag it over. Someone said I messed up. I was short a 150. I think I just put 50. Yeah, one of these you need to change, so I apologize. One of these needs to be 150, not 50. So make that adjustment. And then that's where we stopped for math. So go ahead and draft that when you're done. And then for small group, we did some review. And then for reading today, we played a Kahoot game going over different poetry terms. So some of the terms that we reviewed: simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, automatopoeia. So some of those things that we've been talking about when we talk about, when we talk about, what am I trying to say? When we talk about poetry, some of those things that come up, we did that in reading today. So that was a Kahoot game we played. And then all of this week is Read Across America week. And so we are celebrating different books across the nation. And so if you go to your reading activity in Seesaw and you go down, right here, week 26 reading, and you open this up and you go to the second page. On the second page, there's a map. And if you click the link, it says Read Across America, or Read Across the Diverse Regions of America with Classroom Book a Day. And so this here, make it bigger. This here, we started in the Northeast, and we're going to go to Midwest, West, Southwest, and Southeast. So we'll go all over. and we'll be looking at different books, either on Epic or some read alouds, like the one we read today was the author had written it, or the author, Kate Messner, had read it for us. And so the ones that say Epic, what we're doing this week is we're looking at the ones that are in Epic, and these are the ones that have the little Epic symbol next to them. The ones that have the pink symbol around, the pink box around them, or like a magenta or whatever you want to call that, those are links. So you can click them and you can listen. And the ones like this one doesn't have either. You could check and see if this is on Sora. You might be able to find it there, or maybe at your own library. But anyway, so the ones we looked at that you were assigned for your independent work are the ones from Epic. So what I did to try to make it a little bit easier than going through and trying to track all these down in Epic is I already did it for you. And I put it in Google Classroom and I titled it Read Across America. So you click on the link and it opens up in Epic. If you need the code for Epic, I'm going to type it in this little search thing. It's EPG0465. So if you need the code EPG0465. All right, so if you go down, in your assignment, so mine looks a little different, but in your assignments, you have a section called Read Across America. And I'm going to be tracking your progress of how much you read. Okay, so I assigned books. So today you were to read the ones that were on this page. So The Roots of Rap is right here, Roots of Rap. And then if you scroll down, there's 4 of them that have recordings. So Rescue and Jessica, you're going to click that. So these 2 you should have done by today, and tomorrow we'll have, if you go to the agenda, your independent work tomorrow, we're going to go to the Southeast region, then we're going to go to Southwest, then we're going to the West, then we're going to the Midwest. So each day for your independent work, you're going to have assigned books I'd like you to read. And I'm tracking the progress of that in Epic. So I want to see that you, by the end of the week, you get all the way through and get 100%. So these are here for that. And so you just click and either read it yourself or these videos you can listen to there. And then, let's see here. Out of that, we're done with that. We're done with this. And then tomorrow we'll start, so we reviewed with the Kahoot. Tomorrow we'll start looking at some poems and doing some practice with that. We've already talked about each of the like the things that we did, like simile and metaphor and personification. Like we've talked about that like a few different times throughout the year. So we're really just working on some practice now. So taking all that we've learned and really trying to get it applied when we read some of these poems. So where am I trying to go? Agenda. All right, so we did that. Then let's see, writing is in Seesaw as well. Go down to week 26 writing. And I had everybody go through and make a copy of, this is what we did first. So we went down to page 6 and we copied and pasted our benchmark here. So you can find that in Google Classroom under classwork. And if you go all the way down to a section called writing samples, your writing benchmark composition is the first one on top there. So you open up your composition and you're going to highlight it, copy it, paste it on this page here because we're going to be doing some things with it throughout the week. So today the thing that we did was just to share it. So we broke off into some breakout rooms, and some, not everybody because we ran out of time, but some people were able to start sharing. And then today we looked at a passage called Roll a Pair. And so we did 1 and 2 together. And then 3 and 4 were done in the breakout rooms. So it says, let me zoom in here. It says, Cam wrote this paper about an assignment he enjoyed completing. Read Cam's paper and look for any edits he needs to make. When you finish reading, answer the questions that follow. And so when you're making edits, you don't need to read the passage because you're really just zeroing in either on one sentence or like something that might be a spelling mistake or something like that. So you don't need to read it. You can if you'd like, but you don't need to. And we're going through and we're looking at some of these. So the first one says we're going to go to sentence 4. So we go sentence 4, we highlight it. It says raised my hand and was chosen to share first. So read it. Then we decided to go with C. And the reason we went with C is because whenever you're trying to write a sentence correctly and you're taking something that was already written and rewriting it, you don't want to stick all the words and throw them in a blender and mix them all up and just completely come out with this new, totally different sentence. It's usually just maybe one or two things that that you need to change. So, for example, on this one, it says raised my hand and was chosen to share first. So that's the what of the sentence, but we're missing the who part. Okay, so a sentence has a who's talking, who's sharing, or what's, the subject of your paper, and then the what is what they did, so the subject and the predicate. So this one is missing the subject. So here we went and we took the sentence that was already there, raised my hand and was chosen to share first. We found that the only one that had it was C, raised my hand and was chosen to share first. And so then we made sure that the other part was added. So the part we were missing was that subject. So we made sure that subject got added. And so they added the word I quickly. And so that right there, um, made it a complete sentence. So that was good. The other ones, I raised my hand to share quickly. I was chosen first and raised my hand. Nothing's wrong with those. It's just we don't want to completely change. It took out a lot. So we want to keep what's already there and just fix and add what's missing. So we went with C. Number 2, it says which sentence is not complete. Again, a sentence has to be complete, or a sentence is complete when it has a subject, a predicate, the who and the what, and it has to be a complete thought. Okay. So the one we went and found them all, highlighted them all, read them all. And the one we picked was 11 because it says adding the products for the score. It doesn't tell you who is adding, or there's no subject. So we said that one was not complete. And then everybody did 3 and 4 in their breakout rooms. And after that, once they were in the breakout rooms, that's when they shared and they did their writing there, or shared their writing there. All right, so then, and we did not get to this part here, so I'm going to take that out and we're going to try to fit that in tomorrow. All right, so in science, head over to Seesaw, go to Sync Float Lab, open this up. All right, so we watched the first part of this, and then we went ahead and paused in the middle, and we went and did our lab. So you can click the link to watch that. And then, so we talked about this last week. So if you're not sure what to do, you can go back to last week's instructions about it. I think it was on Friday we talked about it. So you were to gather different things that you could put into water. So like a metal spoon, a plastic spoon, a penny, a washer, a cork, a rubber duck, things that you could test whether they sink or they float. I also asked that you got a diet can of something and a regular can to see what happens with that. And then you're going to use this page 2 to record your video, or you could just upload photos here. And so I want to see the lab, what happened. And then number 3, on page 3, you're going to add photos of what sank and what floated. So here I put my metal spoon, I put my plastic spoon up top because it floated, and I'm going to use the first the first column is to put your items. So go all the way down with your items that you got, and the second column is to say the second and third are to make a guess. So you're guessing, will it sink or will it float? So make a guess. And then the fourth column here is the actual result. So if it sank, put an S. If it floated, put an F. So fill that chart out. And then tomorrow, what I was talking about at the beginning of this is if you look at tomorrow's, we're going to do another density lab with oil and water. And so you need oil, like vegetable oil, food coloring, a playing card, water, 2 clear glasses. They have to be the same size. And so it looks like this. So if you want to go to this link, it shows how to do it. And so you're going to fill up the oil, put the food coloring in with the water, and then you take the playing card and you're putting them on top of each other. So when you do this tomorrow, number 1, you can't be by your computer. You need to be in an area where if water spills everywhere, you're not gonna we're not gonna be in trouble. So you might want to do this outside. You need to get permission if you can use glass cups. Someone might not wanting you to use the cups. So make sure. If not, then we can just watch. There's a video of this. We can just watch. But if you'd like to do it, you get more out of it, and it would be cool to do. So if not, or if you don't have anything, or like one of the things, please don't feel like you have to go out and buy it. We'll watch and do it on the video here as well. So that'll be tomorrow. And so if you want to try to do tomorrow, go ahead and look at those materials. I'm sure you've got most of that at home, if not all. Then go down. You could click to watch this video, and it talks about this is life after Civil War, and talking about the cattle industry and how after Civil War, Texas didn't have a lot of money, and it was just right after wartime. And so talking about how Texas was we had plenty of cattle, and so the cattle industry kind of took off. So the video and the article, if you go to classwork, go up to week 26. So go to social studies right here. This article that you'll read today for Monday is all about that. And then you're answering questions for Monday. So number 1 says, what is the what is the main idea or topic of the article? So main idea, not just one little small detail, but think about beginning, middle, and end. What's the whole article, the whole thing about? And then number 2, the reader can tell that after the Civil War, the cattle industry probably what? So after you read that, what can you tell about the cattle industry? So click here, listen and read, and follow. Make sure you're following along with the article and fill those out. And then you can X out of that. And then we did some benchmark review for math, and we were practicing expanded form and expanded notation. And that was Monday. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Pay attention to everything going on up top here because there's a busy week with some fun things in here. So hopefully you can participate in that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.